In this video, I'm going to show you the average dentist income and how some dentists earn 3 to 5 times that amount and some make even more than that. My name is Chris. I'm a dentist who has worked in multiple roles in the dental industry and has owned multiple businesses. I know exactly how much money dentists make, and I'm going to show you right here. All right, let's start by looking at online salaries. Let's see, the BLS says $170,000 per year. That's a little low. Indeed, it says $219,000 per year. Glassdoor, let's see, 197 to 286. Median total pay of $225,000 per year. So yeah, on average, dentists can make a pretty decent income. However, the reality is these numbers that we're seeing online are only showing part of the story. Most dentists are actually making more than these numbers, and some dentists are actually making a lot more. Most people who have a job have one income source. Whether it's a salary or whether it's hourly, they have one source of income. Dentists, on the other hand, have an option to have income from more sources than just their salary. Most dentists have a salary. Oftentimes, rather than just being a fixed salary, it's a percentage of their production. They get to keep a percentage of the work that they do. Usually this number is something like 30 to 40% of the cost of the procedure. So the more work they do, the more they get paid. But smart dentists, they take it a step further. Smart dentists don't work as employees. Smart dentists own their own business. So the second income source is profit from the business. Serious dentists own their own practice. While an employee dentist might get to keep something like 30 to 35% of their work, a practice owner might get to keep more like 35 to 50% of everything the office does, not just their own work. This means that the owner is getting a percentage of work that's done by the hygienists and by the other dentists that work in the office. Owning a business means not only making money from your own work, but taking a profit from the business. Income can double, triple, or even more when you own the business. Business owners also benefit from all sorts of tax deductions: computers, cell phones, mileage, meals, education, travel expenses, retirement contributions. There are all sorts of deductions that business owners can take. Deductions are another reason why the reported income on sites like the BLS and Indeed are often artificially low. Dentists who own their own business are just making a lot more money than those who are employees. Now there's a third component that we haven't even mentioned yet. The rich don't get rich by working a job. There's a reason the guys on Shark Tank are not out applying to work at jobs. They're buying businesses. The rich don't make money by selling their time. The rich make money by buying assets, increasing the value of those assets, and then selling those assets back to the marketplace at a profit. Rich dentists don't just make a salary. They don't just make money from the dividends of their business, but they build equity in a business that they can later sell at a profit. Successful dental practices can sell for well over $1 million. And there's no hard rule that you can only sell your practice when you retire. Some dentists throughout their careers buy and sell multiple practices. My first dental practice, I only owned for about 1 year before I resold it at a profit. Equity is where real wealth building happens. This is where it becomes possible to make more than $1 million in a single year. If you are an employee and you leave your business, generally you receive nothing. But when you leave your business as an owner, you have an asset that you can sell. And practice equity isn't the only type of equity. Many dentists also own the building in which they work. So once their mortgage is paid off, they have another income source of rental income. Rather than paying that money out to a landlord, they get to keep that money for themselves. And then when they retire, not only can they sell their practice, but they can sell the building that they're working in as well. Sometimes the real estate is worth even more than the practice itself. I know a dentist who, when he sold his practice, he made good money from the sale of the practice, but he actually made a ton of money from the sale of his real estate. He bought the building when he first started working, I think for something like $400,000. He took out a 10-year mortgage. He had that mortgage paid off a long time ago. And over time, the value of his building increased to almost $2 million. So not only was he making $400,000 to $500,000 a year working as a dentist, but then he also sold his building for $2 million. So that means in his final year of ownership, he made something like $3 million. Now, if he was working as an associate in his final year, he probably would have made something like $200,000, maybe $300,000. But yet, because he was an owner, he made $3 million in a single year. So on average, an employee dentist might be making something like $200,000 a year, maybe $220,000. Now let's see what that same dentist doing the same amount of work, maybe less, could have been making if he was a practice owner instead. Let's say the practice is doing $1 million a year in production. The overhead is something like 60%, which means the owner gets to keep 40%. That means the income portion is $400,000 a year, double what an employee would be making. And let's say this dentist is gonna sell his practice for $1 million after 15 years of ownership. So averaged out over 15 years is about $66,000 a year. Let's say he sells his building for about $1.5 million, but still has $500,000 left on the mortgage, leaving him with a profit of $1 million divided by 15, another $66,000. So then adding these all up, we get $533,000 a year. This is a very realistic number for dentists who own their own practice. I know some dentists who are making 2 times this amount. Dentists who play their cards right can earn more than just a salary. They can also earn a profit from their business, and they can build equity in assets that they can sell. Owning your own practice as a dentist is one of the highest paying career paths that exist. If you're not a dentist but you're thinking about becoming one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you are a dentist but you don't own your own practice yet, why not? Reach out and let's find you a practice today. Stop wasting time working for someone else. Take charge of your career and become an owner.